Hello guys, and welcome back to the Sino-Soviet Union playthrough. In the last episode, Dema finished up his invasion of Australia, turned it into Chinese Australia, and is now siphoning it for resources and tech. Pretty much immediately after that war finished, he made a great blunder while trying to get involved in a war started between Somaliland and Ethiopia by declaring war on the wrong Somaliland, because it turns out, for whatever reason, Djibouti was given the national name of Somaliland. After a quick save reload to fix that mistake, we resume. Declare war on the correct Somaliland.
Yup, don't repeat the last mistake.
Alright, and there's your war on the correct Somaliland, which I will support. Portugal has the highest chance to attack me. Yeah, now all their allies have 100% towards the both of us. Okay, I'm gonna send some troops over here. Make sure, or try to once again get the same result I got last time. Ethiopia went right to Warsaw Pact aligned, now that we're both helping them against this fucking dark blue leaning. Yeah, so I think once war actually does kick off fully, like global World War III, I think that's proof we'll see people rush back into our sphere. That port, gonna go for this road, go for the next village. Last time I managed to get every single village, and fucking these boys just got some, like, land. Let's see if I can do something similar this time. They're pushing down their roads like before. Although, the big problem with this war is just such a lack of supply. One of the Nordic countries is actually moving troops through the land of Egypt right now. I gotta get all my ships back to the Suez to intercept a bunch of these ships that are on the way. I do wonder if the reason that the AI is not helping Somaliland is simply because they're the aggressor or some other reason. Oh man, I'm slaughtering troops in the Suez. That's awesome. I do wonder if this is a sign that they're not willing to protect far-flung countries with no real strategic value, or if this is just because Somaliland was the aggressor. Resistance over here at their new capital. That's fine, I came prepared this time. One little garrison up here. Oh yeah, I got some supply trucks, and there goes their final village, their capital. And that should be the end of the war here in a moment. Oh look, a Chinese capital ship has shown up. Oh my god, you just claimed land because a capital ship of yours showed up.
Wait, what?
Yeah, one of your Savitskis showed up, and because it claimed the sea land, you actually just claimed some land over here. Well, you can now build a port over here and have a base in Africa if you wanted.
I wonder if now it'll give up my land if you move troops in here.
No, that is now your land. Unless you release it or colonize it, that is your annexed land and nobody can take it.
I didn't even set anything over there.
That being said, I actually ended up getting more land this time than last time, I think. A little teeny tiny bit more land, like probably very minimal. That or I just got land in different places, but I'll call that a good ending. Gotta delete this road again. It's just out here going nowhere. This doesn't need to be here.
I mean, you could have built like a sea pier over here.
I don't need one. I might as well just put it at like villages, and hell, there already is an airfield and a sea pier down here. But hey, how's that for border gore?
Interesting, considering I didn't do anything, and one of my ships went over there now.
Yeah, that is officially your land until the end of time, until you release it or colonize it. Ethiopia's a little larger, I'm a little larger, you're a little larger. The whole world's a little larger. My treaty integrity went up a bit, I noticed, during that war. In such a short period of time. And even while annexing things. And I'm just here wondering, like, is it going up because of the fact that I just helped win a war, a defensive war, against an aggressor? Oh god, here comes the gigantic-ass swarm of troops from Europe. And as I can see, the Nigerian troops are also en route. There's no barracks in Somaliland, I think, I'm realizing. I got a barracks on that little island I got from North Yemen nearby, though, so that's not bad. I don't think I need a barracks here. I think Ethiopia has it covered. God, I'm just getting free kills galore over here. Oh, it's beautiful. Please keep ferrying your soon-to-be dead to me. It's pretty awesome. So once again, I have passed 200 million in population finally. It's crazy, you know, that Italy is one of the most militarized nations in the world, if you sort by build capacity, but they don't actually appear that strong when you look at them. I see swarms of your troops just flocking back to Taiwan. Still a whole bunch of troops in Chinese Australia. Still some more troops trying to go through the Suez. Well, yeah, there's still more British troops coming. They must have been sent a while ago. World market is delighted with me again, and I'm past 65% treaty integrity. And the Nigerian troops are arriving and quickly running away. We're like, wait a minute, we were told we were going to Somaliland, not Russia. What the fuck, man? High Command lied to us. North Vietnam has 4 wars now, since France was freeing more colonies. Yeah, one of those is the Somaliland that you accidentally declared war on.
Yeah, it was the one literally right next to it, the Djibouti.
That target is so much closer than like a lot of their other targets. So is the Comoros Islands. And they're still not actually mobilizing to attack or anything. It's funny because I think they could take those places, no problem. I do see you are getting good chunks of your units out of that one port already. You have a bunch of fucking... You have a bunch of... Look at the north. Look at all those units. You just have Australia build a road or a railway out there. It's only one ocean tile, if you do it right.
And actually, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna make it a road that have them make a road that goes. You'll see that one road in the dead center.
Oh shit, that's a big ass road you're building.
Because it's far enough to where it warrants another road.
Yeah, Australia is not very well developed.
I mean, I could have built it slightly lower to make it a little more min-max, but that's not too bad.
Either way, that's going to be a potentially pricey little project. Make sure to watch the finances of your Australia.
Yeah, and I got money to help them if needed.
Collect all these techs that Japan got that I don't have. Japan is just being an amazing, like, tech slave, basically. Oh my god, even more. How do they have so much tech? Damn. Even as a colony, they're pumping out techs. Even as a colony, they're building, like, 3 more research centers, dude.
Hey, that helps you in the long run.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just afraid of them, like, running out of money because they're going so heavy into research. But, I mean, the heavier they go into research, the less heavy I have to go into research. I just noticed. Do you see that Australian island just south of Indonesia? You should totally put a port there. Not just because you have units there now, but because I think these are Australian units, by the way. But also because that would be a pretty good, like, refueling point and base for ships and stuff. God, the fact that US is almost at half a fucking billion people is pretty crazy. I now have access to a little teeny tiny bit of rubber from Somaliland. I just happened to get everywhere that they had rubber, which is only like 4 little spots. Really, really not much at all, but it's something. Let's just build... How many of these can I make? I'm just gonna build that many. 8. I can make 8. I feel like I should scrap some of the synths. Like, I really don't use that much rubber. I'm gonna get rid of some of them, especially if I'm getting these non-synths. Let's get rid of 10 synths. I have a bunch offline as it is. Well, coal looks like it's actually profitable to sell, kind of. The price of it has gone up like crazy, but the selling conditions are static. It's like the price is going up, but there's enough of it. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna turn it on though. Allow my coal stocks to start getting sold. See how that affects the market before I even consider re-enabling any coal mines. Selling conditions already unfavorable. Of course.
Right now, I'm importing rubber and agriculture, ironically.
Are you importing rubber, or are you just getting rubber from Chinese Malaya?
I looked at my last day trades, and it had a negative annotation with the financial number on it.
That's weird, because it shows that you're even producing more than you use. And it shows that you're exporting. I'm
I don't know.
expanding slowly but surely the amount of industrial goods I can make as well as expanding my power supply system. Even though there's not a giant demand for industrial goods or anything, you need electricity to make industrial goods, and you need industrial goods and electricity to make military and consumer goods. Military goods, which will be very important when the World War starts. Consumer goods, which are just important all the time. I still don't understand Korea's insanely high daily demand of military goods. They've been number one for consumption this entire time, and I don't know how. I feel like that has to be some sort of just bug or something. I'll tell you one thing, they have so many units. Look at their bars. What the fuck? They have the same amount of bars as you do. Why are you in the red? Oh, Portugal and South Africa finally signed a ceasefire. The Protectorate in Kenya made an alliance. Who would actually protect the Aden Protectorate if I attacked it? Let's be real. It doesn't even have 1 million people living in it. I'm starting to think like Hitler.
That's bad. Stop it.
Look, they're communist. I must go save my communist people. They're one of my own. I promise, I take Aden Protectorate, I won't take anything else, we'll live the rest of our lives in peace. Okay, NATO? Okay.
Hey, you're over 200 million.
That was a while ago, Demo. But you're over 1 billion.
I didn't look at your place for a little while.
I announced it. So once again, I have passed 200 million in population finally. Sometimes I find so many concentrations of airfields and air bases or piers just scattered everywhere. So sometimes I just go ahead and I get rid of some of the excess. I have a bunch of extra fucking air bases and stuff on my border with you, because these all used to be different countries. I've turned off all my synthetic rubber. I'm not actually making enough rubber with just the regular rubber plantations, but with the imports from my colonies, who I think are pumping out more synthetic rubber, I think I'm still getting enough every day to not have to buy any, and oh my god, it is now, my production cost is now 306 for each unit of rubber. It was like 570. Too bad there's so little of it in the world. Angola and the United States made an alliance. Listen here, Yusa. Who do you think you are, making allies with people? You think your allies are so tough, you should see my allies. I have more of them, although I don't know if they're quite as good as your allies. But I have more of them. I noticed you're in the red.
Oh shoot.
What is it that's eating away at your treasury on and off?
It's fine, it's fine.
I have bad news. You probably won't care about it very much, but Poland is finally crashed. Their debt has hit its ceiling, their credit ratings plummeted, they're deflating, they have no money, and people are starting to emigrate more and more. The most successful of the Eastern Warsaw Pact countries has now failed. And they're pretty much all sharing the same fate right now. Turkey's doing alright, I think. Yeah, Turkey's doing alright still.
Does that mean you're going to attack Poland?
Oh no, dude, they're still my ally. Failed state or not, they're better off allied with me.
I thought you might have just wanted to take them over, get their population, get a decent boost.
That would take too much off the fucking treaty integrity to be worth it. Damn, the price of uranium is still plummeting. It was at 150 at one point. It went, when I pointed out it was falling, it was down to like 130. It's down to 60 right now. My uranium mines are actually limiting how much they make, because the US isn't importing enough to make up for how much both you and I are exporting. Coup d'etat in Afghanistan. Oh. Except, wait a minute. So they just went Warsaw Pact leaning, because yeah, they did a weird flip thing.
Is this where you decide instead of supporting them, you just take them over?
I don't know. Their people still love me. I'm gonna support the coup. I'm gonna support it. It pushed them over into a line. Of course, no one stays in a line at this point with the way things have gone. Theoretically, it shouldn't be too hard for me to get the alliance back with them. Not that there's someone that's super valuable for having an alliance with or anything, but they're still in a way technically on our side if we just grab them up right now. Well, I got the alliance back with Afghanistan.
I have up to mutual defense. I don't know if I'll be able to get the full-fledged alliance at the moment.
It pretty much just needs their government at delighted to accomplish. Yeah, see, it's like we never lost them. We just gave them a stimulus. That's all that happened. They threw a temper tantrum and we gave them a stimulus, and now they're back. I don't think you ever actually had an alliance with Afghanistan before, though. So how goes your country? What are you up to?
Still researching tech and stuff. Mainly trying to focus on these massive amounts of non-tradables I have.
I see a fuck ton more coal plants going up.
Because almost my entire queue is non-tradable.
Yeah, you're at that wall. But otherwise, you're probably going to find that once you get through a lot of these non-tradables, India's going to have a fuck ton of techs ready for you.
India and Australia.
And Australia, yeah.
I wish Australia had more military techs than other techs, so I could just get everything.
The thing is that if these countries weren't going for such a civil focus like they were, then you wouldn't have gotten nearly as much of a leap of tech, nor would you have as much waiting for you. Like, I'm in, like, 2010 right now with a lot of my civil tech, but with my military tech, I'm in the 80s, 90s. But that's just because I'm researching this tech by myself, the warfare tech, and I'm ahead of everybody in warfare tech, whereas everyone else is focusing a lot of the civil tech, so it's getting ahead faster as a result. US is like 2010 and passing their civil tech too.
Well, that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on non-tradables and purely military and get my civil off of my colonies then.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm evolving into doing right now. Non-tradables and otherwise warfare techs, because nobody's really researching warfare except for, like, primarily like you, me, the US, and maybe the UK. Oh yeah, the UK. Oh yeah, they're doing it. Uh-huh. Hey Demo, did you notice that we got a new border?
What do you mean?
We got a new border. Here, let me show you. Oh god.
You could have just pointed it out.
There, it froze the game for a moment, but there's our new border. There's our new border.
Colonizing your places.
I annexed Kyrgyzstan.
That's what I meant, you're annexing places.
So now we have a nice clean border right there leading up to Mongolia and down to Afghanistan. That's not the reason why I did that. I just decided to say it that way.
You probably did that because they weren't sustaining themselves.
They were sustained, right? But they were losing like a couple people a day, and they've been doing this for the past few, like the past half a year in game at least. And their treasury is never going up. It's just staying like under 10 mil, like 9 mil or less at all times. So I just figured I'd put them out of their misery. So I did. What about the people in Australia? You never actually built anything to get those guys out of there. That northernmost island where I told you to build the road.
I did.
Or the bridge. No, you didn't. Look.
Uh-huh.
They're still there.
You told me the settlement.
No. That was completely separate. I told you that would be a good place for a seaport. Remember when you built that giant-ass road heading west, which, by the way, is still building?
Oh, I thought you meant... Okay, I know what you mean now.
Yeah, no, there's a bunch of units of yours just stuck on an island that you could build a bridge out to pretty easily if you just build north of the military base. The United States and the other Somaliland have made an alliance. That's funny, because that Somaliland is out of money. Bleeding people. Like, they're basically already dead. I believe when the Cold War scenario starts, the UK is about 50 million population behind me. Approximately. And that's where they approximately are right now. They're still growing faster, but they're relying entirely on growth, where every now and again I just gobble up a colony or take over a country and annex it. And speaking of colony, the Solomon Islands! You've been waiting for this. Do the Solomon Islands still mean as much to you now that you have New Guinea, Fiji, and Chinese Australia?
I mean, it would put another barrier in the U.S.'s ability to get by.
So do you have your next war target?
Why not?
That looks like a fun one to attack. There's 5 islands that have villages with no piers. The capital city has a pier, though. Well, looks like Australia is pumping out new units. I see a Matilda frog chilling around.
Yeah, they have been.
They're getting their military back up and running.
Should I help them get more modern on their military, or just let them stay where they're at?
Do you need to? They're probably the most advanced colony in the whole game right now.
Let's see, what can I give them? I give them text for like military vessels 51 and armor design 6.
I don't think it's the text specifically they need, but also probably designs if you're going to give them stuff, because they might not even go after the designs themselves if they don't care about it.
I kind of want to take New Zealand. I know they're allied with the U.S., but...
They're allied with Canada, not the U.S.
I meant the U.S.
No. Did you... You meant the U.S.?
No, I meant Canada, not the U.S.
I know they're allied with the U.S. They're allied with Canada. I meant the U.S. You meant the U.S.? No, I meant Canada. That's how that went. You good?
I'm good.
Now here's the question. If you would risk war with them, would you also risk it with the Philippines? And in that case, who's smarter to attack first?
Ugh.
Right?
I'm conflicted because they look like good points, but I also don't want to spark a major war.
I mean, it's either probably one of them, or, you know, after Solomon Islands, just running over to Central America. And I mean, your treaty integrity is so good right now. By the time you attacked the Solomon Islands, you would have enough treaty integrity to go to war again. So you might as well pick your targets now. Japan is actually researching some designs. They just researched the TL-2 Raptor. I haven't given them any warfare texts or any designs, and they actually went ahead and researched a new tank design themselves. So they can throw away these 46 J5s and start with these 57 Raptors.
I may have a problem.
What's your problem?
Look at India. Specifically their economic tab. Well,
Oh yeah, they have a fuck ton of debt they've taken out. I was already aware of this.
I was more pointing to their inflation.
Yeah, it's deflating a little because they don't have enough money to run everything that they want to run. And it's because, look at their credit rating. They've taken out way too much debt. Everything they're doing right now, they're not really sustaining the best. This could be fixed by throwing money at them, or it could be ignored. You can just sit there and ignore it.
Or I could just shuffle money from one colony to another.
And this is why your colonies go broke. Oh god, you actually just took like $2 billion from Australia, didn't you?
No, not 2 billion. Here you go, India. You're getting 1.7 billion.
My god.
And then when you start doing good, I'm gonna toss it right back to Australia.
That's a Ponzi scheme, Demo. That's a fucking Ponzi scheme.
It works if you do it right.
You can't do it right, though, because Australia is not big enough to generate enough money to sustain India to begin with. And India's already at like a cap for debt. I now have the BRDM-3, which is a step up on the BRDM-2 in every way. Except that it's a little slower. But it's not a lot, but it is a decent amount cheaper as well. Alright, and I got my new arty. All I need now is my new infantry to replace my IOF-2s finally. These are from 72. They're actually up to date. This new infantry I'm getting. Oh yeah, I have my ATs coming as well. This new infantry I'm getting is from 90. Something I wish you could do with colonies is create them in such a way that does not depend on loyalty. For example, such as the state of Czechoslovakia or Austria-Hungary. Like, these are all nations that are made with a bunch of different loyalties in them, and sometimes not even any loyalties of their own. Or if you want to talk about specifically colonies, you look at places like French Equatorial Africa, French West Africa. The loyalties in those are all completely different. These kinds of colonies can be there at the start, but you can't actually make colonies like that. You can only make them per their loyalty. It would be neat if you could, say, take Chinese India, Chinese East Pakistan, and combine them into one big colony. In about 2 months in game, it will have been 30 years since the start date. In those 30 years, you've skyrocketed a lot.
It really feels like North Vietnam's preparing for a war against me.
Those units have been there for the past, like, fucking 20 years.
I just see the number of units just growing along the border.
Because they keep making more units. Oh, they've actually made more land fabs. Finally. They're becoming more useful of an ally.
Let's be real. If they attack me, I'm turning them into a colony.
They're not gonna attack you. They're allied with you, Demo.
I know, but I was just saying, on the off chance that did happen.
They probably love you, too. AI in this game are not very good at breaking alliances. The closest thing to them attacking you would be simply them having a coup d'etat. Hello, independent Dominica. I condemn your independence. I don't like it. Get a new one. The US just passed 500 million population. Why is France's military bar full?
I don't know, but can they afford it?
Their army staff has gone up to 1.8 mil. What the fuck? Why did they do that?
Because they're stupid.
Are they going somewhere? Is there some mass troop movement that I'm just not noticing? God, you would think they were getting ready for war or something with that fucking military bar. And their army staff is still going up. The good news is I'm like 20 years ahead of European NATO in terms of military tech and designs. The bad news is even a 20-year difference doesn't necessarily mean the most.
Okay, are the ones you looked at from them better than the MK3 Vickers?
No, this is better. 76. Ooh, that's so modern. Oh, that's so modern. That's just... It's like 9 years behind my T-55 AMVs, but the thing is, 9 years doesn't mean a whole lot. Oh my god, they have Challengers! Okay, well, I mean, UK and me are basically in the same boat of tanks right now. They have Challengers? Jesus. At least I've been pumping out fucking T-55 AMVs for the past, like, decade. I have nearly 1,000 of them. I doubt they have nearly 1,000 Challengers. Challengers are scary, man. I'll tell you right now, Challengers are scary. I've played a lot of games where there's Challengers. Yes, I do, in fact, because I still believe I have way more than Europe has. Not to mention, the moment I go to war with Europe, assuming the US is distracted by you, which they'll only be distracted by you if you're set up in advance, they have to grind up against East Germany, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Poland, Bulgaria, Romania, and these guys may be failed states. They may have garbage tech for present day, but a tank is still a tank, and a tank can still do some good damage. But yeah, UK is definitely as advanced as, like, me in the US, probably. I can see that I'm ahead of them a little bit in some stuff, like I have an armor design level that they don't have, for example. Oop. I have annexed Azerbaijan.
The only concern I have is going into the war against the US with so outdated tech, I get steamrolled by their modern units.
Two things. Number one, your tech is not that outdated right now. Your tech's actually really fucking good compared to a lot of countries. Number 2, like I said, a tank is still a tank. Keep in mind, you have very good infantry with those IOF-2s. Let me check your other designs that you have right now that you're pumping out. Your best tanks, from what I can tell, are... What are you pumping out a lot of?
Let me check real quick.
ZTZ 69s? I'm gonna assume?
CT's S62 Recon and the YW531A CFD-63.
You're not pumping out the ZTZ 69s? Really? These are from 76, they're pretty fucking modern.
I have to see why my person's not putting those out.
Because I'm gonna say right now, your tanks are up. You have tanks that are up to like the day you should have. You're a lot better off. You're like the best off out of every person in the red except me. And you're pretty damn modern. Do you have the same level of tech as the UK, the US, or me? No. Do you need it? No. Could you even afford it? Probably not.